Hola, what is up? So, today we are going to be doing, it might be a little early to be doing this, but we're going to be doing NBA playoff predictions. So, all the seeding, all the matchups, yeah. So, in the East, I drew up a little bracket. In the East, I think the Sixers will be the 1 seed, and they will face the 8-seeded Raptors. Nothing really crazy there. I'm pretty sure that's what the standings are now. Sixers 1, Raptors 8. I think the Sixers win that game. And then in the second round, the Sixers will be facing one of the 4-seeded Pacers or 5-seeded Nets. And I think the Pacers will take that game just because I don't really believe in that Nets supposed super team. And I think Malcolm Brogdon is a good enough player that he can pretty much lead them to victory. And yeah, and then we also I have the Celtics seeded 3 going against the 6-seeded Hornets in the first round. There's no question for me. The Celtics are going to make it out of that matchup, but the Hornets could surprise us. And then I have 2-seeded Bucks versus 7-seeded Knicks, and I have the Bucks out of that matchup. And then in the second round, the Sixers versus Pacers face off. I have the Sixers winning this matchup just because I don't think the Pacers can make it out of the second round, but I do think they'll beat the Nets. And next in the second round, we have Celtics versus Bucks. I think the Celtics will win this matchup because I think this matchup will come down more to not Giannis, like Chris Middleton, because Giannis can't do it by himself, but Chris Middleton is a really good player. I think he is definitely one of the more underrated players in the league, and Chris Middleton's I think he knows what he's doing, but I still have the Celtics because Giannis is obviously good, but I just think the Celtics have a lot of players that can just punch their ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals. But in the Eastern Conference Finals, I have the Sixers and the Celtics, and I have the 76ers making it to the NBA Finals. And now let's get to the West so you know who they're going to be facing. So in the West, I have the Jazz seeded 1, and I have the Grizzlies seeded 8. And yes, they would have to jump up like a spot or 2 in the seeding, but I think that I believe in the Grizzlies. Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson will be back in maybe March 4th, I think they said. But yeah, I think the Jazz will still win that matchup, but I do think the Grizzlies will make it into the playoffs. Next, I have the Clippers and Nuggets, a matchup we're familiar with from last playoffs. That ended away. I do not think it will this year. This one was really hard for me. Originally, I wrote Nuggets on the bracket, then I scribbled it out and wrote Clippers. I just like the Clippers supporting cast. They have Nicholas Batum, I kind of like, and then they have one of the Morrises. I just think that they can pull it off. And then I have the 3-seeded Lakers. See, this one, definitely could change. Now that Anthony Davis is in question and might not be back for the regular season. So their record and seeding definitely could take a hit, but I did this before the Anthony Davis calf strain thing. So I have Lakers at 3, Warriors at 6, and I have the Lakers winning that matchup. And next, I have Suns at 2. You might think that's high, but I don't know. I just believe in the Suns, and I thought about putting them at 8 because the 8-seeded Suns are unstoppable, but I think they deserve to be at the 2 seed. That was cringy. Yeah, the 2-seeded Suns face off against the 7-seeded Blazers. And Damian Lillard's very good. CJ McCollum's having a good season, but I have the Suns making it out of that matchup. And then the second round matchup, Jazz versus Clippers. I have the Jazz coming out of that one. The Jazz just have Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, great players, and then a great supporting cast. And then I have Lakers versus Suns in the second round of another second round matchup. And I think that the Suns will actually win that game because, especially with Anthony Davis in question, LeBron, personally, I think he's the GOAT over MJ, and sadly, I think he's better than Kobe. But I think that the Suns just have what it takes, and I think they have quite the team this year. That they have DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker, Chris Paul. Chris Paul last year was supposed to be just an oldie that was there to fill the Thunder's cap space. But I think that they were supposed to tank last year, and he took them to the playoffs and almost got out of the first round. So I think that the Suns will win that matchup. And then in the Western Conference Finals, I have the Jazz and the Suns. Call me crazy. The Suns are in the NBA Finals, in my opinion. So that leaves the NBA Finals, 76ers versus Suns. I think this is a 6-game series in favor of the Suns, but I do think they're very close games. But I just love that Suns team, and it's a good 76ers team, but I don't know if the 76ers have what it takes, and I know the Suns do. Well, that'll be it. Hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you feel like it. Bye.